Hey Zoom, how you doing? How you doing, Kevin Smith? Welcome in. Welcome to the Great American Experience. I'm Wizard of Oz, and this is not my show. I'm just a guy in the background pushing the buttons, so that you can come up and talk about what's on your mind. There you go. So, what's on your mind? It's been raining here today, so the only thing on my mind is rain and yuck. Muck and smelly dogs. Wet dogs. But yeah, no doubt, man. You got some rain today, Zoom? Good deal. It's been raining on and off all day. Not heavily, not windy, not storming, just drizzling rain. It's like today was crying. And it wasn't even in the forecast. Imagine that. But it is what it is. And we, absolutely. So, um, yeah. Welcome in, Patriots. Yep. It's one of those things. Load your bowls, load your glass, pull up a chair and sit on your ass. Bring up your link and come on up and let's talk about what's on your mind. And in the meantime, fire in the bowl. Yes, sir. Dying at 111 degrees. Yeah, well. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Man. It's just always hot out there, though. Yeah, it's always hot. And, that goes along with being in the desert, Southwest desert like that, I guess. Yeah, I guess weather would be a deterrent to keep people away. Weaponized weather. Rock on. Welcome in, everybody. Come on in. Grab a link and let's get this party started. Yep, I guess you could make weather a weapon. Yep. There you go. I think Don found a way to utilize that. What's up, Ghost? Oh, hey, Don, how you doing?
I have no idea, really, at this point in the program.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good.
Not bad. Can't bitch. Got my panels doing the thing, and I'm actually pretty excited about all that. And now I've just ordered some linear actuators that'll now track it if everything goes according to my master plan for world domination.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all pretty damn good. I can't complain
Awesome.
yet.
It's all too new to be complaining about yet, huh?
Sorry, firing the motherfucker bolt.
That's right.
I keep having monitor problems.
Oh, really?
Corn? Can you taste the difference between GMO corn and regular corn?
I can't.
I can't either. Okay, use connectors. Let me go through and wiggle some connectors. Connector wiggler.
And I've never been much on eating a pile of anything.
No, so corn and beans and shit like that. That don't do it for you, right?
Yeah, no, I don't eat a pile unless it's like shrimp, lobster,
The fuck is going on here?
catfish.
Catfish catfish don't come in a pile. It comes in a slab.
Yeah, but you could pile it up.
Can't pile it up, yes sir.
Yes, but yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's been raining. I was like, I got up this morning, everything was looking good, everything was going well. And I looked at the weather and it said rain. I was like, what the hell? So I ran to town, got a battery for the car. That Ford Probe got here the other day, bad on it. And the window's down. And it said rain today. So I was like, okay, I'll go get that battery. Got a decent price on it, $65 out of Walmart. It wasn't bad.
Right.
And put it in the car, rolled the window up, and it started raining. It's been raining on and off all day ever since.
Is that dumb luck or is that just you being ahead of the game?
Ahead of the game kind of thing. Last minute.
Ahead of the game is the way I see it. But
Yeah. But the window got up and it's all sealed up now and it's not going to rain in the car.
wonderful. Now, if I could just make this goddamn monitor work regular, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right? Yeah. I got to figure out a little bit of wiring on it and then I'll be able to go from there. Once I figure out what the wiring problem is, I'll be able to start the damn thing up and then get her sold.
All right, bitch. Well, I'll just turn your dumb ass off then. How about that? Sorry, I'm talking to the monitor. Not the
Right. If it's not the cord on the back of the monitor, check the cord where it connects to the back of the computer.
You know what? I've been chasing this little fucking gremlin now for a month. I've changed cables, cords, power cords. I've changed the orientation of the monitor. I truly believe something in my laptop is fucking me up.
Oh, yeah.
It could be heat. It could be many things. I don't know. But there's a whole lot of could be and a whole lot of annoyance.
Right.
It ain't one thing. It's a Well, it is one thing. It's just one thing I haven't found yet.
Yeah. Monitors are fairly cheap if they're not that big. So
Yeah, this is a 32-inch TV monitor that I've had for 20 years.
yeah, it's time to put it to rest. Take it outside, shoot the son of a bitch, and get you another one.
I have a hard time like that. I mean, if monitors will light up for me, once
Yeah,
they'll light up, I don't really want to throw them away. They're too expensive.
right.
As much as I'd love to paint a fucking Hillary face on it, take it out back and put rounds on it.
It just needs some AK-47 love.
That is exactly what it needs. Some AK-47 love. And I am just the guy to fucking give it to. Arch Ultra MAGA. I can only imagine what extremist, terrorist, right-wing, Nazi, fucking fascist son of a bitch is behind that Ultra MAGA extremist thing.
Yeah.
What's up, dude? How you doing, Bill? I know I couldn't come on last night, dude. I'd have got us all. I would have got us banned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you. That's why I didn't come up. Honestly. Because I would have been right and I would have been cussing and spitting and cussing. And I'm sitting here telling the wife, I can't do that. She's like, yeah, put it off to the weekend. All right.
Can you say that looked like Hitler or Stalin? I mean, Jesus, Lord, it was just bad.
Red flags all over the place.
Yeah, red banners and
With soldiers, the military standing all around those red flags. Like, we're coming to kill you all. You know.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna go heat up coffee. Y'all get it all out of your system before I get back there.
But
he's trying, Bill. He's trying not to explode. Just
but anyway, the sun was out and the birds are chirping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got crickets and frogs. It's been raining all day.
I got crickets.
Well, at least the frogs ain't close.
I got Utah crickets. Trying to eat stuff.
Hey, Lenny, no. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, we're talking about the vegetable in chief.
Yep, the big potato. Hey, Singularity. What's up, Battery?
I tried watching that speech at work at Independence Hall.
Yeah,
I had to put my voice down and say, lie, you liar. I couldn't watch it. I watched it for about 10 minutes. That screw this. But it downright looked evil.
Yeah, it was. It was the epitome of it. Then this morning, he's like, well, I didn't say that. I don't think any. I was like, you piece of shit.
Oh, man.
His diversity hire press secretary was grilled this morning.
The voices in my head are saying stuff.
Yeah, I know. You gotta watch that.
Are they saying fire in the bowl?
I think Battery's an extremist because he's got one of them flags behind him. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm a full extremist. I'm
Evil
ultra MAGA.
flag.
I follow the great MAGA King.
The great Mugger King. It's
That was, that was hilarious when he said that. When Biden said that, I was like, "Yeah, call him something he'll love." They've got flags now, shirts, hats. Oh, the
Right.
MAGA, great MAGA King. Yeah. Yeah, now we're all extremists. Call one whole party extremists. Well, except for the rhinos.
Yeah, that flag. Man, oh man, that flag.
So,
And Wizard and his eagle.
yeah.
Oh, that's extremist too. Man,
That's an extremist eagle.
They can suck my eagle.
Yeah, and what's all this banter about the vegetable in chief planning on attacking 80 million Americans with F-15s? You heard about that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. You need to give up your guns because if you don't have an F-15, you ain't going to fight the government.
one of that.
Yeah. Right. Well, never mind. I ain't going to go there, but yeah. Oh, yeah.
Vegetable in chief.
See me out there shooting my.
I was trying not to get involved with that because I didn't want to get the channel a strike.
Oh yeah, let's be careful what we say. Censor people are watching.
Yeah, Don's in the background. He's just so we can't hear him.
No, yeah.
And, I have a feeling that monitor doesn't work because he punched that.
Hey, Lenny's here. Hey, I was just live before you came on, and Lenny No was on my channel. She's been on my channel several times. She's my one and only moderator right now.
Oh, wow.
And I told her about this channel, and here she is.
Rock on. Thank you for coming out, Lenny. No.
Yeah, Lenny.
Yeah, it's a bit of a. Yeah, we're trying to hold back on our rhetoric tonight in light of the current conditions of our.
I actually like have visions of celebration in the future after the election.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one of the pundits was talking is like, you know what? Every time that piece of shit talks, he says that every time Biden talks, the Republicans gain ground.
True.
Yeah.
Well, it's very much like what a friend of mine told me in Iran. Every time the mullahs crack down on the Christians, the church grows. That's how good things grow. They get attacked.
Well, it's probably going to grow pretty soon then.
Oh, yeah, we're growing all the time. Hey, I fly my don't blame me, I voted for Trump flag on the way home. And today I got 8 positives and no negatives. My record is 11 positives, 1 negative. But I never, the negatives never outnumber the positives. Ever.
Well, there's not enough of them.
And I'm in Oregon. I'm in Portland, Oregon. Well, I stay away from downtown.
Well, I'm just thankful I live in Peckerwood Heights, Mississippi.
Where you can't flush a toilet.
What? In Peckerwood Heights?
Yeah.
We flush toilets all the time.
And they just open the flap. They're in the heights.
Yeah.
In Heights, yeah.
They say they got water problems down in Mississippi.
Yeah, but it all rolls downhill, and I'm up in the heights.
In a redneck high rise?
I'm in the trailer park right behind the Walmart.
He's got a 2-story trailer.
Yeah, it's Peckerwood
Wow.
Heights Trailer Park.
I was picturing a redneck high rise, a single wide trailer on stilts.
Well, we never get tornadoes.
We call those ones that are raised up like that. The underside is a porch.
We get tornadoes.
It's a porch and a garage all in one. That's what it is. It's raised up in the air like that for a reason. And we got a garage and porch underneath there. Yep.
No,
That's why.
kinda like
That's
on a
why
hill like this. It was
me
out like
and Platoon get along so well because he's just poor trailer trash like me.
I lived in a trailer park once. There was a camper trailer. We were waiting to get our house. Oh, I loved that place. Trailer park was so fun.
Lady says she's in Indiana and they just found lead in the water.
Oh, great.
Well,
Now we know what's wrong with Apex.
yep.
I filter my water just in case.
You know why they found lead in the water up there in Indiana, don't you? It's all those good old boys reloading ammo.
Right, they've been shooting up the water tank.
Or maybe they put lead in the water so they make everybody stupid. And vote for them.
Silly people.
Hey, Zoom, how you doing? Hey, Zoom, what's the weather like? We had a hot week in the 90s all week. And at night, it would be mid 60s to mid 70s. I don't know how hot the day was, and if we had a cloud cover at the end of the day.
Oh, wow.
Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the high 70s. Dramatic reduction.
Kind of hard to believe that they would put a moron in the White House.
That's the best the Democrats can come up with.
That's the best they can come up with. That's their most highly intelligent.
They needed somebody they could control.
Stool pigeon.
Yeah,
Called stool pigeon.
but they control him with drugs. Have you ever noticed he gives those speeches? He's got no color in his eyes. It's because
After that speech yesterday, definitely they're controlling him with drugs.
yeah.
He used
They
to
had
have
him
bright.
on spins yesterday.
He used to have bright blue eyes. His eyes are like black. I don't know if it's because his pupils are so dilated from all the
That could be.
medications they got him on.
That could be it.
Yeah, Lenny, I just, it ain't the, yeah. I was going to say so. It ain't always best to be the brightest crayon in the box.
Put the link out there for Lenny if she wants to come up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Come
who's
on
got-
up. Let's talk about what's
who's got
on your
the
mind. That's what we do. We're just hanging out, talking about whatever's.
We're trying to talk about stuff that's not going to make everybody mad
Right.
because everybody seems to be not in exactly a really good frame of mind right now.
Right.
Oh, while I'm here,
Today.
I'll tell you in the chat. I know about this train that I saw today in the northbound tracks that was parked, and it was MRAPs, military MRAPs, and APCs, and trucks. And the MRAPs are like, they're a lot like tanks. They got a crow's nest on it, and guns and Bradley fighting vehicles. I saw all this on a train, and it was over 7 miles long.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I started, it was along the side of the road that I was driving on, and it was 7 mile. And during Jade Helm, I used to see a lot of these trains heading north for some reason. I couldn't figure out why are all these trains with all this military equipment.
Yeah, that's a probe.
Huh?
What is it showing?
They were heading north on during Jade Helm, and it was like every single day there were trains that would take like 30 minutes to go by because there were so many military vehicles on them, all heading northbound all the time. And this train today that I saw just 7 miles of it. I'm sure it was a lot longer, and I know it was 7 miles.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Lenny, Singularity eats crayons. So we try, he's been weaning himself off of crayons. So we've been avoiding the crayon thing. Now you got him started again.
So I looked at a rail map, and I saw rails that led up somewhere up in Idaho, and then they just kind of stopped there, Missoula, Montana. And then there's another rail that goes up to Seattle. And it just seemed kind of odd to me that I'd see this train again. I'm starting to see stuff like that. Lots of military equipment movement going on. Because I'm talking about Apaches and stuff like I've seen Chinooks flying over me, Apaches. Well, they could be Blackhawks. I can't tell the difference between an Apache and a Blackhawk because it's after my time. I just know they're military helicopters.
Apache is very slim, has wheels that stay up or stay down, and the Blackhawk is a troop or cargo carrier. It's fat.
Yeah, well, it's one of them.
Zing says I go to weekly meetings.
Crown addiction.
It's on the 36-step program.
Well, I like the glue. Elmer's.
There's your problem.
Well, I haven't been on this week because, I've been a little, I've had anxiety all week, and I'm much better tonight.
Awesome.
It's just been zapping all the energy out of me.
Fire in the motherfucking bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to News today, and he said he's feeling much better. So,
Crayons Anonymous.
Clear. I'm drinking clear liquids tonight. Anybody's asking I'm drinking water?
Well, that's why we're going to start the crayon removal program.
Right.
Because it's epidemic now.
Yeah, they did make candy cigarettes for a long time.
Look, we're going to make it out of it. This is from Germany. Like my mug?
Yeah.
I'm sure the big one.
Oh, man. I ate a big old pile of GMO corn today.
Good.
Yeah, how do you know it was GMO?
It all is. How do you know it's not?
Well, you could be growing a field of
I didn't grow it, so it's got to be GMO.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
you could be growing a field of all organic corn, but if your neighbor is growing GMO corn, it's going to come over your field.
But it tasted so good. It
I
had to
know.
be GMO.
The Aztecs have been modifying it for centuries.
Right.
Well, it
Before-
tasted just so damn good. It had to be GMO.
The natural corn still grows in Mexico, and it's not edible. Too small. It's like grass.
Oh. I don't know. I grew some corn this year, and it's not GMO. And I actually ended up with out of about 60 plants, I ended up with about 25 ears of corn.
Somebody
Worth-
tell you it wasn't GMO?
Huh?
Did somebody tell you it wasn't GMO?
Yeah, I bought it from the MFA. It was it's organic. It is hybrid, peaches and cream.
I grew organic corn one year and non-organic. The organic was 3 times the size. I had ears that big on the organic,
Oh wow.
4 inches. I think, well, I'm never growing that again.
But the my soil is almost right for it, for the corn.
Oh, I saw my neighbor had 10-foot corn.
And mine got up about 7 foot. But
I knew a Mexican guy that had one. It was about 4 to 6 feet above his fence. His fence was 6 feet.
oh wow, Lenny, thousands of acres, huh? Yeah.
Well, Lenny, this is a planned famine we got coming. Be ready. Grow your own.
Build a greenhouse.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do. I got to finish the shed this year, so it's probably gonna be next year when I build the greenhouse. But I think I'll put solar panels on the roof of the greenhouse. That'll help shade the plant. You know, all this sun we've been getting. Need to
Right.
shade. Last year, my plants couldn't handle that sun. This year, they're doing okay. But I'm not growing much. Well, seeing it is on purpose. They're growing fuel. They've converted a lot of farms over to producing alcohol. Put in the cars. Oh, it cracks me up. California said they're going to go to all electric. They're not going to sell gas cars anymore. And they're asking people right now to not charge their electric vehicles.
Yeah, the cutoff is 2035.
What the hell are they going to do? They're
Right.
all electric.
They're getting ready to shut down that nuclear plant too.
They have a nuclear plant.
Yeah, Diablo.
They should expand it.
Well, they're getting ready to shut it down.
They need Republican leadership now.
Yeah, well, they shut down Europe.
A lot of the people are leaving California. They have a shortage of U-Hauls constantly now. Because they're leaving the state. Those that can afford to leave are leaving.
Don says just stay out of California.
Absolutely. I went to California. Last time I was in California was about 5-6 years ago. I ain't going back.
Yeah, it's pretty much toast, man, as far as I'm concerned. It's a waste.
I grew cucumbers this year, and I got a really good crop just from like 6 plants. I
Yeah,
got more cucumbers than I can eat.
I only got 10 in my garden, and I'm pulling out a dozen a week.
I'm having a hard time keeping them from turning yellow. They're coming up so fast.
Right.
I have like 15 of them sitting in the house. I got to start slicing them up, put them in jars. What I do is I put about a teaspoon of salt in a small jar with warm water. Wait till it cools. Slice up the cucumbers and throw them in there. Oh, it's so good.
I get those pickling salts.
Pickling salt? I got to try that. But
I planted too late.
Any farm at home will have them.
You think Fred Meyer might have them?
If it's a farm at home, yeah, you can go get pickling salts there or Walmart or anywhere.
I know they have in a dry package stuff to make pickles.
Yeah, it's a dry package pickling salts. Yeah.
Walmart has a canning area where they sell canning supplies. All the Walmarts.
Our Walmart's just a grocery store. I have to go 5 miles to get to a Walmart that has anything else.
Probably get it at Safeway.
Don says he should be able to watch it snap off when it happens from his back porch. Should be fun.
What snaps off?
Yeah, he's got a mountain range between him and California, so he should.
Oh, that's good. Unfortunately, we don't have that here. They just come right across the board.
Your part is going to fall off.
But luckily, most of the Californians that head north, they go to Washington State. They skip us completely.
Now, when the California shelf breaks off, do you think it's going to cause the sea levels to rise?
No. And it's not really going to break off. It's more going to tuck under.
It ain't going to rise to sea level.
Well, it's on a shelf.
Kind of.
What we should do is just go over to California and start jumping up and down and get everything vibrating so we can snap off.
Right. Do a Tesla momentum machine on it. Yeah.
Get the boring company to just go underneath California for loosen up the soil a little bit.
There's my Huckleberry. What's up, Huckleberry?
Hey, Huckleberry. Hey, Huckleberry, say hi to Lenny. He's new here. She's in Indiana.
Is Lenny a guy or a lady? Battery?
Lenny, I hope.
Right. Yeah.
Don't know anymore.
So could we just get like a big come along and attach it all the way from Hawaii to California and anchor it down in some rocks in California, start pulling California away, kind of force the issue?
We just drive a big old wedge right to the San Andreas Fault and wiggle it.
San Andreas Fault goes through the middle of California.
Yeah, sure. That's where it's going to split. That's the
from San Francisco down to, I guess,
down to the Gulf of California.
Arizona.
No, it goes into the Gulf of California.
Or I'll stick a crowbar in the San Andreas Fault crack and see if I could start getting California to start slipping with a crowbar.
That's what I was talking about, dude. Yeah. Now, the San Andreas Fault goes all the way down to the Gulf of California. It's that there's a peninsula in Mexico, has a large body of water between it and the mainland.
Oh, yeah.
It's called
Okay.
the Gulf of California.
I had 3 shots of tequila. My geography is suffering right now.
And then we just start, wedging it with 2x4s and stuff when we get it far enough away and see if we can get it to break off. Yeah.
I'm gonna go check it out just to be sure, so I ain't telling him nothing wrong.
Lenny, as you can see, we're a pretty good channel.
Yeah, I was right. Gulf of California, and it's called Baja California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just Google it.
Maps. Yep, looked it up on maps.
While you were talking about it, I remembered where it is.
Wonder how much it would take to get that thing to start moving away from the continent.
Sounds fun, Sing.
Huh?
Sing said he had a piece of metal break on his truck and fly up. Put an inch slice across his ear.
Have you ever stood on the big crack?
No.
The San Andreas Fault crack, the California crack?
Yeah.
I've been across it.
I've seen it where the places where the road was shifted and you could see a crack. There's cracks all up the San Andreas.
Yeah, there's a couple places where there's fences across it, and the fences don't line up.
Right.
I lived in San Francisco too.
And the lines in the road even shift every year.
Yeah.
It's like so many inches or so many feet or whatever a year it moves.
Hey, here's something funny. One of the things we got away from when we left California was the earthquakes. At least we thought. As soon as we settled into our house, we had a 5.0.
You know, when I lived in California, there was a place up north of Salinas. I had an apartment in Salinas, and there was a place up north that would test the rocket engines for the shuttle. I always thought that was the dumbest idea. Why the hell would you test a rocket engine? Because they bury them in the ground and they test fire them. Why the hell would you do that near the San Andreas Fault? I never understood that. Because you could feel those sons of bitches going off when they went off. You could feel it, and it would rumble like an earthquake.
I don't think it would do anything to the fault.
It's going to shake the shit out of it.
It's like that whole San Andreas Fault is just like barely hanging on. Barely.
Well, it's hanging on, so I don't think we got.
I've been through several shakings caused by the San Andreas. I lived in San Francisco for 2-3 years. Then we went to LA. I don't know which is worse. At this point, I don't know which is worse. Oh, dogs are barking.
Yeah. They're chasing away cars.
Yeah. I saw one of those dogs come running up to my car, barking at me like, "Whoa, I'm getting out of here."
Right. And they don't tend to slow down too much.
You don't want them catching up. You don't know their intention.
You're right. Ranger runs about 40 miles an hour when he's on.
Wow. My brother had a greyhound mix, and that dog would run alongside with you while you're going down the road.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing 40 miles an hour, and he's in a trot. I go up to 50, and he starts running a little faster, and he still keeps up. But it still looks like a trot.
What's really funny is when it snows, it's like it doesn't affect my dogs at all. It's you know how it bogs us down and you got to trudge through the snow. The dogs, they speed up.
Yeah, because they got
go faster.
right, instant heat dissipation. Yeah, instant heat dissipation.
Helps them catch rabbits too.
My dogs don't care about snow. They love the winter. In fact, it's hard for them to come inside when it's wintertime.
I haven't seen a dog yet that didn't like snow. Even my neighbor's Chihuahua. He loved it.
The dude was a nurse. Nurse was a dude. Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
gosh. Go ahead.
My hound is a short-haired dog, and I don't know if we had a winter like we have used to have in the past. Sometimes we get like 40 below almost. You know, it'd just get cold and blowing, the wind chill factor and everything. And I don't think that my dog could handle that kind, but my other dog can. She's got more of that thick, long fur.
And Don, I don't let them chase cars. In fact, I got a collar that I'll utilize on them from time to time to get them to stop, trying to train them not to chase the cars. They usually do pretty good. It's starting to get out of hand again. I have to put the collars on them. And then I only use the audibles. So, but they respond to that pretty well.
My neighbors have a dog that likes to bark every time somebody goes by the house. They're at the street. So it's all the time. Not a dog whistle. The other day, she would not shut up. It was after 10 p.m. And the owner said that he brings the dog in the house at 9. But it was after 10. And she, roar, 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 roar. I blew that whistle. She shut the hell up. Didn't start up again.
Oh, where'd Bill go?
Bill hit the wrong button.
Probably. But yeah, no, I yell at them and I use the collar and stuff like that. But they know when that collar is on them and when it's not. I'll take that collar off and they would be doing for good for like 2 or 3 days. I'll take the collar off to charge it up, and the next thing you know, they're chasing the damn car.
They learn that stuff. Just like raccoons have learned around here. When that light comes on the back of the house, they take off.
Yeah.
They know I'm coming outside.
Well, over the time I've been here, we've only had one that had gotten hit. So, and that was Prince.
Okay.
Yeah. We lost one of the puppies. Yeah.
Trying to save the puppy. I don't know if I'm hearing crickets on the screen or if it's here.
It's probably here.
No,
Yeah.
it's here too.
I'll mute. If that's the case, you should be able to hear the rain too.
I hear crickets here. And I went down and checked the mail. I heard the crickets.
Come back, Ghost. Come back up.
So quiet.
But yeah. Yeah, I tell you what.
Killed my cricket.
Say what?
Huckleberry said Miranda just killed my cricket. Who's Miranda? What was that? Something went. Well, I bought a new toy for my pressure washer. It sits on the ground. It spins. Hopefully, it'll clean my wife's tire marks off the drive. I didn't show you my new inverter, did I?
No.
No,
Oh,
battery.
wow.
Turn it on. It says 17.9 volts on a half a tank. So it's got 2 amp hours left. There's a light.
Oh, wow.
It's 800 watts on a car battery, 300 watts on this battery, and here there's a plug right there, plugs into the cigarette lighter, and that's 120 watts. And if I have this plugged in and the battery plugged into these, and that battery goes dead, it goes to this. But I can't do it with a cigarette lighter. Well, actually, if the bigger battery goes dead, it switches to the next thing. So if I'm plugged into the cigarette lighter, it goes to that. But I can't be plugged into the battery and the cigarette lighter. But if I have to run it off in the truck, and I need more than 120 watts, I will make an extension cable, like I did with the Jeep, and run it to the battery. It's got these magnets on it.
I did not sing.
Oh gosh, what is it saying? Made you say what?
Oh, he said I made him say it. Barry.
Barry Heaver?
Yeah.
It was Barry Heaver.
I'm not guilty.
I have no idea what's going on. Not dirty creative.
I like Don's one. Don's explanation. I don't know that girl. She told me she was 18. And
Oh, I've been there. I was seeing this one girl over in Germany. Her father was an E7 in the Army. I was Spec 4 in the Army at the time. And I was with her at a place called Rock and Rodeo. No. That's here. No, it was a redneck bar down in Nuremberg. The owner looked like Kenny Rogers. Well, anyway, she was there, I was there, and her mother was there. Mother was German, and she loved me. Cool. I'm good with the mother. I'm good. But her mother told me how old she was. What? She said 16. Oh, okay. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I was 21. That's a little too young. Honestly, I thought she was over 18. Her father could have put me in Leavenworth, man. Not a good situation.
Right. Yeah, not a good situation. But
It's okay. We weren't compatible anyway. She liked to hang out at the American club where they play lots of heavy metal music. I wasn't really into it.
right. Man. Yeah, you see, they're trying to blame Trump for closing schools down and shit.
Ow. I don't seem possible. How they could blame Trump?
Right, they can't. He was out of office by the time they did that shit.
Yeah, one school district here is getting ready to go on strike. Just started the school year. Not exactly sure what they're striking.
Because they gotta go to work.
You see the unemployment rate? They're going to claim that Biden was great for the unemployment because it's 3.6. That's really low. But they got a lot of people not even looking for work.
Right. And most people dropped out of it.
There's a worker shortage. How do you have a worker shortage if there's enough people to work? They were working before the pandemic.
Yeah, nobody wants to work under the conditions of getting a jab, wearing a mask.
I didn't do it.
Well, there's a lot of places that are doing that.
We have a worker shortage here. They were starting mandates. Oh gosh, I gotta go. It's that time. I have bold plans for the weekend. I plan on moving the tarp off of the shed, putting up the rest of the siding, and starting on the roof. I got 3 days of cool weather.
There you go.
No rain in the forecast, but cool weather.
Just remember, tie yourself off.
Never done that before.
When you're putting on the roof,
It's not very high. Of course, there's a lot of sharp objects below.
well,
And
you set an anchor on the far side of the building and you run a rope over it and you use it to hold yourself up there.
any of that emergency gear, it drops you too far. I'll hit things. I'll have to have something shorter. Like you said, tie it to the opposite side. Well, I'm not actually going to be on the roof. I'm going to start building the framing. I get lucky enough. When I actually start putting up the roof, the plywood and the tar paper and the shingles, then I'll tie myself off. But I have a nice flat surface to work from.
So they put you off to the 17th of September. That's crazy.
Dang. I just ordered some stuff to organize my Ryobi tools, and I have to wait till the 13th. You know, it's nothing like the hair, but
Hey, Huckleberry, have you decided when you guys are gonna? Have you guys talked and decided when you're gonna do ladies' night?
I like long hair on ladies.
I was just wondering when you guys are gonna do ladies' night.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, Nightingale and Huckleberry and Jen and Kimmy and uh, Lisa, Valentine. They were all talking about it.
Oh, I was watching Brandon Tatum, you know, his former officer. He had a video on today where officers were responding to a fight. And they were trying to break it up. And this one woman, she must have been maybe 95 pounds. She started pushing at one of the cops, and he started pushing her back, and he started swinging at him. So he knocked her out. Hilarious. She went down like a sack of potatoes. And then flip. That's even the same, right?
All right.
Not that I would do that, but I'm not a cop. You know, you don't swing at the cops unless you know, are willing to take a hit. After she was knocked out, they handcuffed her. She was still fighting. She came to, she started fighting all over again. They didn't learn a lesson. Knock her out again.
Well, yeah, man, it's
Well,
nice and cool here tonight. Pretty humid.
oh, well, it's not humid here tonight, finally.
Well, it's raining on and off all the time, so and this ain't gonna stop until about 1 or 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, which means I don't have to get up. I'm not going to be doing my market stand today.
I haven't seen rain in a week and a half, and when we did, it got super muggy.
But that sucks. I'm not going to be able to set up my stand Saturday morning.
No, it's nice.
No, because I got veggies that need to be disseminated, if not sold. So
Okay.
I guess I'll feed it to the rabbits and the chickens.
Get yourself a canner.
Yeah.
I got to learn canning this year. I wish my mother could show me, but she forgot how. Alzheimer's sucks. Yeah, Sing. I worked with some people from Africa, and their reaction to black people complaining here in this country, they think, what a bunch of idiots. They have no problem finding a job. And they have a handicap, the language. Yeah, they have to work with, learning a new language. And they find jobs better than the native black people. Now, I understand there's a lot of black people out there that'll work hard. But there's so many that just complain they can't find a job. Huckleberry? You say you can have a baby too old? What? You mean can't?
Sorry, they can't.
Forgot the T. Changes the whole word.
Yeah, changes the whole meaning. You know what? It's time for pie. I'll be right back.
Okay. Enjoy your pie. I've got to go.
You gotta
Somebody else get up here. I want to get StreamYard. So how much is basic StreamYard?
$19 or $29 a month or some shit like that.
Well, I need to set up a PayPal so I can afford it. I gotta buy gas, Food.
Right? Don't we all?
I really want to do StreamYard, but really can't afford it right now.
What in the world? Hold on a second. Let me see.
If I stop buying stuff, I can. But I like to buy stuff more than I like StreamYard. Oh no, Sam. Making you leave from where? Well, Lenny, if you're still on, have fun with this group. You'll love. Years ago, I joined this group, and I never.
Jerry Pie. It is time for pie.
It's my favorite channel. I even like it better than mine. I only get 2 people on mine, so I have over 100 subscribers, but I only get 2 people. Why did you do that? Okay. Well, I am tired, so I'm gonna go. Good night.
All right.
Somebody get up there. Don't leave their wizard there by himself.
Yeah, come on up. It's hard to talk when you got a mouthful of pie. Yeah, I couldn't pick today. And it's going to rain tomorrow, all the way till about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, Sing.
Hey, how's it going? I've been trying all night to get you in trouble, but Huck won't bite.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
If she does bite it, it will leave a mark.
Yeah. Huckleberry's in charge. Oh, that should go well. It's not showing you up here on mine. Oh, okay.
It moved it up. Cherry pie.
Smurfs. Those damn Smurfs. They're causing it all.
Right.
I'd get sick Pat screaming at the Smurfs.
What was that guy's name that always was chasing him?
Gargamel.
Yeah, Gargamel.
Yeah. They always screwed with the poor cat Azrael and yeah. Yeah. See, the Smurfs were the sneaky bad ones. They played like they were the good guys, but they were the bad guys.
Right.
Yeah, Zach, I got some they're green, like a fluorescent bright lime green, purple, and then bright orange lights. They're kind of like Christmas lights, but they're Halloween. They're LEDs.
Yeah. I used to have a end of eyeballs.
Oh, nice.
You load them in a bush. There's nothing but eyeballs, and it's got lots of little eyeballs,
God.
and they blink.
Oh, where'd you get those at?
Years and years ago, Halloween store.
Dang. I'm gonna have to look for something like that because that would be cool if you get some even like some red eyeballs. Because I've got a bush that would work perfect right by the gate.
Right, and you wrap it up in there and
Right, just look like a bunch of eyeballs looking at you
out of the bush. Right.
I would. I've got this one. God, it stands about as tall as I do. It's kind of like the Reaper type of thing. And when people walk by, his arms come up and his eyes glow red, and he starts talking to them.
Yeah. Right. You know what's a real cool setup though? You get yourself some white yarn, and all white yarn, most all of it, is blacklight reactive. And then you make a giant web off the front of your house against a tree or something.
Right.
And then you put up a black light, and you get yourself one of those
Nice.
You get yourself one of those old electric skillets.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get yourself some dry ice, and you fill about halfway up with water, and just drop dry ice in it. Make sure you got it plugged in because it'll freeze that water. But as long as then it'll make a fog all over the ground. It's pretty badass.
I got a fog machine that I put under the front deck, and it blows it out, and it just kind of starts coming up through all the bushes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You can't put regular water though. It's a special. Well, it's water, and then you put the special additive in, but it's the additive's like $1.50 for a bottle that does like 3 gallons of water.
Well, it used to be real cheap to get dry ice, and you get you a few pounds of it and break off, half a pound in the skillet with the water.
We used to be able to get dry ice here quite a bit, but then a grocery store got sued or something because they gave some high school kids some dry ice and they messed themselves up with it. And now nobody around this area gives out dry ice or sells it or anything.
That's so much bullshit, dude. I think it's bullshit.
Yep, one idiot screws it up for everybody. We used to God, I as a I worked a lot of different jobs during the summer I farmed, but during the winter I worked a lot of different jobs, and even during the summer sometimes I held on to them. And I even worked in a grocery store, and we'd take the mop buckets and fill them with water and put a bunch of dry ice in it and push them down the aisles when it was close to closing time, and that whole store would just start fogging up.
Right. Good night, Bill. Dream well, Patriot.
Take care, Bill.
Yeah, but you know what's really cool is you put the I had a porch area that had a hedge around it.
Right.
Set those black lights up underneath the bushes so they don't get stepped on or kicked.
Yeah.
And then I put that skillet up there and get it all fogged up. They had to walk through all that to go to the front door. And it was all covered in spider web. We made a big old spider web out of the yarn.
Yep.
Put spiders in it and everything. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, we decorated up for Halloween. We do. Except here people decorate for Easter. They decorate. And I've got Easter lights that are a bunch of pastel blue and pink and stuff like that. I've got Easter lights, Thanksgiving lights, Christmas lights, Halloween lights, pretty much anything to decorate up. Everybody does it around here.
When I had all the kids, I used to go all out on Christmas and Halloween. We didn't do too much on Easter, but Christmas and Halloween, yeah, the yard was all decked up. We'd grab some old jeans and a shirt and stuff them full of. I'd get a bunch of hay bales and some great big pumpkins to carve and get corn stalks and stuff to put around. I had this one light we had a yard light on my house.
Yep. And
I'd take the regular light out, and we had one that was failing, and it would blink and make noise like ding, 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 ding. You know what I'm saying? Just randomly blink and act like it was freaking out. So I kept it with the Halloween stuff, and I put it in there, and so we had that, and then we had the gravestones we'd make out of cardboard. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. A couple years ago, I got some off of some shipping crates for. I hauled some motors, and they're the made in China motors, and they're some of this cheap Chinese plywood, and they would cut them, or take the crates apart and everything for their motors, and they just had a stack of it. I was like, can I take some of those? And they told me just take what I wanted. I took about 20 of them, made a bunch of grave stones out of those.
Right.
Yeah.
It
was free.
Yeah, I took one of the kids and I taped him to a tree. We'd put his costume on like a zombie or something. And I'd tape him to a tree along the driveway, and he'd freak people out as they were coming up to the door.
Nice.
We had another one. We made a grave, and we dig out a hole, right? And we throw the dirt on top of the ground like a fresh grave, put the headstone up and everything. And then we dug a hole so that one of the kids could get down in the hole. And it came all the way up to like their chest, and they would climb up out of that hole in a zombie outfit, like a dead guy.
Nice.
And scare the shit out of little kids. We didn't give away a whole lot of candy sometimes because we'd scare them away. They didn't want to come there.
Nice.
Of course, I was sitting on the front porch in a Reaper outfit. And I had the sieve and everything. I had this big purple cape, and I had black lights that I would hang on my wrist, little battery-operated black lights, because I was in the midst of all that fog and stuff. And the black lights would be up the sleeves of of my costume. and I had these big hands with the extra knuckles on them, the big scary skeletal hands and stuff like that.
Oh, yep.
And they shone in the black light a little bit, so it was perfect. And the black, when I raised my arm up, the black lights would show. I'd have the bowl and I'd pick it up off my lap and I'd reach it out to the kid so they could go pick their candy and do it in a slow motion. You know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't see my face,
Right.
you know, because of the hood on the Reaper outfit and
Nice.
medallion and all. I used to do it up pretty big.
I got a neighbor, and both of his kids are in college, and he still does it. He made like a little old style coffin thing, and he made it to where he lays in there literally all night. And any kid that comes up, he sets up and gives them candy, but he scares the crap out of them. He always used to say, "Well, I do it for the kids." It's like, and we call him on it. It's like, yeah, you do it for yourself. We know, you have just as much fun. It's all right to admit it. We all decorate up too. So,
You ever hear of the game Dungeon Keeper?
mm-mm.
It was good. It was a computer game. It's called Dungeon Keeper, and you built a dungeon, and you had a gateway that you managed where minions would come in, and you had to feed them and make them work out and train them and stuff like that. And then but it had the perfect backdrop noise with the chains and the swords clanking and the moans and the groans, and every once in a while the voice over on the game, a new minion has entered your dungeon.
Nice.
Yeah, it was the
Nice.
best soundtrack we ever had. That year was the best year we ever had on the decorations for Halloween. That was awesome.
Nice.
The kids loved it. They just had a blast.
All that type of stuff, takes some imagination to build too. So, I mean, it just makes it that much more enjoyable when you get to do it. That's why I like making a lot of my own decorations for Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, you can go buy shit, but it's all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You can make costumes. You can do things that don't cost any money. You know what I'm saying? I still had the big $30-$40 pumpkins. You know what I'm saying? The big 50-pound stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And we carved them out, and I bought the corn stalks, dried out corn stalks, and set them up in different places around the yard. Shit like that.
We do a yearly. It's not always in the same place. Either one of my sisters has it, and my mom doesn't do it anymore, but she goes to whoever's place we have it at. And ever since my nieces and nephews were kids, we always had costume parties. And now they're older, but all their friends used to come over. So now we've got neighbors, friends, family, and it grew into a big thing. I mean, some of the Halloween parties have 50, 60 people there, but it's all, you got to dress up. You got to be something.
Well, we don't do that no more. The kids got kids of their own, so hopefully they're doing that shit with their kids.
Right.
I'm sure they are to a certain degree.
Right. Take care, Huckleberry.
Huckleberry's
Hey,
leaving.
Racy. Yeah, she's leaving early. Yeah, I'm not going to be on real late. I got tomorrow's that funeral. So.
Oh, geez, yeah. Racy says fire in the bowl. Sounds like a plan, my friend. Fire in the motherfucking bowl. Brought to you by SausageGravyBiscuitFarms.com.
I know a lot of people anymore, they get mad about, oh, you're Christian and you celebrate Halloween. It's like, yeah, I'm Christian, but you forget, especially like my family and the area we're at, there's a lot of Germanic people and a lot of gypsy people that still have some of their old traditions that, they implement. So
The
it's,
only thing Halloween was about for us was candy and scaring people.
yeah, and that's mostly what it is. But if you look at it though, it's actually, it was a day to honor that, people that have passed. That's what it's always been. Just like the Day of the Dead in Mexico, people think it's an evil thing. It's like, no, that's actually just a day to recognize all the people that have passed. Right, Zach. Halloween it's fun.
Yep. But
What do you guys do? Tick Don off talking about the Biden speech? He left.
I know
He broke.
I think he blew a blood vessel or something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he popped a blood vessel in his forehead, didn't he? I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, I can't talk about it either. It irritates me.
Yeah, no, yeah. Hate to think all the work, all the stuff I'd done over the years in service and all that shit was, doesn't mean a damn thing, I guess. It's a kicking in the
Definitely. Oh yeah, Zach, he'll be right. He's out there lurking. We see you, Don.
Sweet dreams, Huckleberry.
Yeah, take care, Huck.
I'm gonna be
She
coming
was
up.
mad at you. She left early because you weren't on screen with your buttons undone.
Oh yeah, damn.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
go
think
on screen, do a button, she'll be back like in a snap.
right.
She's still listening. Where's Nightingale? Nightingale's been around usually on Fridays. Kind of weird
Yeah.
that she's not on.
She's probably got a date.
Oh yeah. Oh, I hear you. Zach's all excited about that beef jerky and the shirt.
I know. He's all excited about that stuff.
I've been watching, and I'm not a firm believer in which you all know that. I mean, I get it, but I've never seen anything like a lot of you guys. I know a lot of people have seen stuff that have them convinced them for it. I wish I had seen a lot of that, but not a firm believer in a lot of the alien stuff. But I've been watching the Ancient Aliens, and it's actually applicable to some of the stuff we talk about with history. Some of the megaliths and stuff like that, that a lot of this stuff they did, we don't give our ancestors enough credit on what they accomplished.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, there's no.
I mean, even say if it was, visitors coming here and helping them, they still did a lot of that building.
Right. Well, they obviously had knowledge to do it.
Yeah. On so much that goes back into the, like with the Masons, the Templars, and all that, what they called forbidden knowledge and stuff like that, different, geometries, stuff like that. The knowledge I think they acquired when they were in the Middle East, starting with the Templars.
Well, all this digital access and all that stuff, there's not going to be any record of that in 1,000 years. Not even a CD or a DVD will survive 1,000 years.
True. Yeah.
Much less the technology to read it.
Well, even books that are in, sealed containers and stuff like that, Paper is it breaks down. Even light will break down paper, even different UV lights and stuff. So
Yeah,
you
plus
gotta.
mice and critters eat it.
What's that?
Mice, critters, insects, they all eat it.
Oh yeah, yep. But and the ones that are even sealed, they still will break down over time.
Oh yeah.
Ah, that's well. Hopefully for Dallas's sake, hopefully he gets stable. I'll just say that. I'm not gonna be mean, not gonna get it, but yeah, Dallas, I think needs to get himself stable. Very unstable young man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so much of that stuff, it's well, and I know where I'm pretty sure I know where you're going with that about the stuff that is lost to us will be lost to future generations about us also.
Well, it's not like we're carving it in stone.
Yeah.
You know, we're not preserving the information in stone. Now there are places where they do, but they're
Yeah,
obscure.
but a lot of that stuff is stuff we don't necessarily want them to think we were all like that, like the Georgia Guidestones and stuff like that. We don't want everybody to think we're that evil to try to deplete the population.
Well, I mean that's carved in stone. How are they going to know what the populations were?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's yeah, that whole thing it got mowed down. They took the rest of it down, didn't they?
I I think they had to because it became a risk. Too many people were climbing around it since it was already something had happened to it. I guess it got like struck by lightning or something. Somebody is saying.
Eh, that either that or somebody used an energy weapon on it or something.
It is correct. Well, and there's a lot of crystal in granite. So I mean, in theory, an energy weapon could be amplified and could be used against stuff like that. I mean, it could crack stone. If, in theory, much of the, like the different sound frequencies and stuff like that anything could. I mean, really, frequency affects everything on the planet. Like
I personally like to believe God struck that piece of shit to the ground, just like that George Floyd mural.
oh yeah, it got struck too, didn't it?
Yep, right in the face. Destroyed the wall. It didn't take down the building it was attached to, just destroyed the outer wall. Destroyed the mural.
Yep.
And this thing just whatever took it out. And I think it's, why not?
God saying enough with the divisive stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I try to stay out of trouble too. That's I work and go home. That's pretty much all I do anymore. I got all sorts of people, you ought to come over or have a beer. It's like I don't drink that much, so I'll pass. And when you know how it is when you don't drink that much, you don't want to be around a lot of drunk people.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop off here in just a little bit. I got about 10 minutes left in me.
Yeah, I've got to get to bed too, so I can get up early for everything.
But But
It's
yeah,
a good hour and 37 minutes, though. I mean, it went for a while.
but yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, look at all the other things that have been destroyed inexplicably. Inexplicably. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That definitely, makes a person wonder.
Well, you
I
know,
know,
the islands up, like around the Isle of Man and all that stuff. Those islands,
right.
they got a bunch of fortresses on those islands, and they look like they've been melted.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, it was crazy kind of stuff. And I mean, they're stone structures, and it looks like they were some sort of weapon was used on them. It looks like they were melted at certain points.
In South America, there's a few places in the quarries that they pulled out some of the megaliths, some of the parts where they carved a place out, and then have you seen some of those places almost look like the rock melted?
Yeah,
Like they got it almost like it was a torch cutting through metal, and they got it too hot in a place and a little bit melted and kind of ran down. And it's interesting. I want to see some of those things in person though, to make sure that a lot of that stuff isn't animation. Computer animation is so insanely believable anymore that
right.
it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
So not that I disbelieve it, I've got to see it for myself to be a firm believer that it was something like that. As it looks on the pictures I've seen and the videos I've seen, it looks believable. But until I can be there physically myself, see it with my own two eyes, I don't want to make a call on it.
right.
Mud Mountain Hauler. I haven't seen that one. Zach. Sounds like a trucking thing, kind of like Ice Road Truckers. Didn't Ice Road Truckers start on the Weather Channel too, and then the History Channel took it over?
I don't know about the Weather Channel. I thought it was like Discovery.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, something like that.
I wouldn't mind doing it, but I just wouldn't drive over the lakes, the frozen lakes. I'd be like, no, I'm good. I'll take the roads and stuff like that. You guys go ahead and take those lakes if you want. And I get it; it's a lot of money, but yeah,
Yeah, too many tractor trailers under the ice.
exactly. And there's what they don't show on that show is that every year there's a couple of them that go in.
Yep.
That's just my luck usually tends to lean towards the bad luck, so I'd be that one truck that went in. And I've hauled over the Rockies before, and I did not like that at all. So some of those other places I do. There's Don.
You're number two.
You're
Hey,
number
crazy.
2 in my book, with all the love and respect.
Gotcha.
Age, IQ, number of legal parents.
Oh, you made
Right.
Zach's day.
Fuckers.
Right. Crazy Canadian, welcome in. So Don, so you got some electricity coming off those panels now, right?
So I have doubled my photovoltaic output. Yes, sir. I have. I now
Oh,
light up every morning with about 6,000 watts.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool so far. I'm just learning though.
Nice.
Now, is that enough to run your like AC consistently?
Yeah, yeah. 6,000 watts consistently is enough to run my AC. Yes.
And everything else is nice.
Well, 6,000 watts would literally be enough to run my house. If the AC, even if the AC did not have a soft starter on it, which it does, 6,000 watts would still run it without a soft starter.
That soft starter, though, is something pretty much needed to keep from burning it up, though, isn't it? It's what a lot of.
No.
Do you have it hooked up to do it though, Don? Do you have it hooked up to the house?
The soft starter and the
Well,
solar, no, sir. No, I don't have it hooked up to the house yet.
I guess that's the next step, huh?
That's the next step, yes, sir. That's about $1,000 worth of cable.
Yep.
Oh, friggin' variable cable is insanely priced. It is way overpriced.
It's like $20 a foot. I need
Yeah.
about 100 feet of it. So
And
it's
that's
gonna
for the
cost about
aluminum.
$1,000. Yeah.
But-
That's for the triplex 2.02/0 aluminum. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
You
Yep.
can't get the copper. Don't even think about it.
Yeah. Not unless you got like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk pockets.
Yeah, I mean, even then, even if you could afford it, it's still 6,000. It's still 6 months out. So, you go ahead and order it. I can go down to the Home Depot and pick up a roll of 100-foot 2-aught triplex aluminum wire.
Yep.
And it'll pass code.
2 gauge, I mean, that's a thick wire. Even
Yeah.
the copper is thick. So there's a lot of friggin' copper in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's at 2 gauge, you're rated at 225 amps, is what I'm trying to pull through there.
Right.
That's 225 of AC.
Right.
DC amps. So 225 amps at 240 volts.
Nice. See, I don't have anything except for aluminum in the ground, except for like some things that are, some 14.2s go into like yard lights and stuff like that. And even the 14 is, the variable is pricey as crap.
You can't see it, but I'm holding up 10 gauge TFFN or TH or
THHN.
THHN. That's it. 12 gauge THHN. Shit, you can't even get a fucking 500-foot roll of this shit.
I bought a bunch of it, probably about 10 years ago. I've still got several hundred feet of 10.2. I've got several hundred feet of 12.2, and then the same of 14.2. And I've literally had people wanting to buy it from me, and it's a Romex. And because they say that if you go to the store, they're out, and they're out, they're not going to be getting it in for a while.
I got a 250-foot roll of some 10.3. And I went and seen the price of that the other day at the store. I was like, holy shit. That's like 3 times the price of when I bought it.
Yeah.
Yep. And most new construction is on that 4-wire of the 3 style.
Yep, 10.3 with the ground. Yep.
Well, my next big move is the linear actuators. So,
Nice.
and I'm a little worried about that, honestly, because those fucking panels, while they're balanced, they're heavy. Each one of those swing arms is holding 12 panels. Each one of those panels is 42, 44 pounds.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
But
What type of motor are you using on them?
my hope is that I can use 3 330-pound, 12-inch, 12-volt linear actuators. 3, because I have 3 separate posts. So all of that balances on 3 posts.
Right.
So if I can use 3 linear actuators to drive it, then I'm good. If not, I'm gonna have to figure something else out. And
And
I
you're
can't.
doing all your electronics through those raspberries, right?
The first linear actuators will not be through the raspberries, but yes, eventually all the linear actuators will be through the Raspberry Pis. Yes.
Nice.
Right now, I just want to make them work.
Right.
You know what you could do, Don? Hydraulic rod.
Hydraulic rod. Yes, I can. How can I make a hydraulic rod? How do I do that?
It's not real hard.
They've even got 12-volt pumps
Yep.
where you could just engage that pump, and they have an electronic with the and it's basically an actuator. It's like instead of having the hydraulic actuator that you actually pull the lever on, it's an
So it's a
electronic
ram.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
And
it's a hydraulic ram. Yeah.
and it sends a signal, and then you could just get a smaller. God, you could even an inch diameter center rod on the ram with a. Dang, if you're running like a J hook, and then with that ram, is all you need is what 4 to 6 inch stroke. If you're running a little J arm coming off of it,
I could get away with a 6-inch stroke. Yes. I'd rather have something like a 12-inch stroke. That way it would give me more leeway. But yeah, I could do a 6-inch stroke.
and even that, I mean, you're looking at God, you can easily get 2,000 psi out of a cylinder with that. So I mean, which is plenty. I mean, that's enough to where you could
That's
run
a
a
ton. That's
yeah,
a ton.
yeah.
Literally, that's a ton on the end of that actuator. So
Only
then
problem
I
is
gotta make sure that I got enough steel wrapped around wood to make sure that it doesn't crush the wood and moves the wood.
right. Yep. Because if there was something a little off, it would just tear everything off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
just
that's
off-
not.
yeah, I could see the
I never
hydraulic.
thought about that. Never thought of hydraulic ram. How small can I go on that? How cheap can I go on that?
That's what he was saying. You could have a 6-inch throw.
Sky's the limit on size. I mean, they
But
go from
what's
tiny to big.
yeah, but what's that cost? What kind of so to have 6 inches of rod around a 1-inch diameter, just like you talked about, 2,000 psi, just like you talked about.
Yeah.
What's it take for me to what kind of infrastructure do I need? What kind of pump do I need? What kind of lines do I need? What kind of power supplies do I need to get that to make that happen? What does it take for that to happen?
There's 2 pricey parts. The cylinder is going to be cheap. You're going to get that cylinder for probably under $50. You can get it on Amazon. The pump, you could probably get them for like on Amazon for a basic pump, probably that'll push 1,200 psi. Probably you could get those for probably 159 with the pump and the tank, the reservoir for the hydraulic cylinders. The hoses to span what you need to do are going to be a little pricey, but the real pricey part is going to be that damned little actuator, the electronic that you could send a signal to and engage that cylinder. Those are about $500.
Hydraulic actuator. Yes.
There's
Switch.
I seen too. It's got a new hydraulic cylinder, 27.5-inch collapsed. So it's got a 27-inch or 25-inch throw. $157. Yeah, a lot of 3-speed air industrial cylinders.
That's just the RAM, it sounds like.
Yeah, 250 psi, 17 bar.
So $150, $160, the whole thing's $500.
Well, this one says but they're only 250 psi's. It's a 17 bar, whatever that means, and they're $15 plus.
That's not even
10.
close to what I need.
Yeah.
Well, I'm driving right now. The actuators that I'm doing are 330 pounds. So they're 1,500 Newton. 1,500 N actuators. 3 of those I'm hoping is going to give me the lift that I need. And if it don't, then fuck.
God, once you get into the hoses and everything, I hate to say it, but you'd be better putting a motor, almost a small DC motor on each one and running
Yeah,
the wire.
that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm looking at something that's maybe a 5 or 10 times bigger and more rugged.
Yep.
Something in the 1,000-pound area that I should be able to do 3 of homemade using windshield wiper motors. I'm seeing them DIY on YouTube all day.
Are you going to get enough pull on those? I mean,
I don't
up
know.
a standard one?
I don't know.
Because I know
Even
even
the
on my,
commercial route first.
Yeah.
So 3 actuators, 3 12-volt, 5-amp, 12-inch throw linear actuators, 330 pounds each. Should give me almost 1,000 pounds of lift.
oh, nice.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know.
And I mean, they do a lot, windshield wipers, they'll run 2 blades. I do know, like on trucks where they've got a larger windshield, or on equipment where they got a lot larger windshield, the little motors can't handle those big strokes, so they use air actuated motors to get the power they need.
Well, it wouldn't be torque so much as on the windshield wiper motors. That's a right now that's a secondary thing. I'm hoping I don't have to go there. Right now, the linear actuators that I'm buying commercially at $50 each are giving me 300, and I'm buying 3 of those, and that's 330 pounds each of lift.
Should
So
be good.
that'll give me 1,000 pounds of lift.
Well, you don't have anything. It's not like you're compressing earth. It's not like you're trying to compress or break rock.
Correct.
You're just moving the panels. So
Well,
I don't.
I'm moving something that's balanced but heavy. So
Yeah.
if it's balanced well, I can sit there and let it go in mid-stroke, and it'll stay right where it's at. And then I can touch it with a finger and move it one side up one, or up or down if it's balanced across there. So
That's what I'm saying. So you're not going to need a super high pressure situation. You're not going to need all that weight. So you're stepping over.
correct.
Except for if you get wind, you need something with strong enough gears to maintain that.
Yes. Or to even move in the face of that.
Right.
Once the automation kicks in,
You have to set up a wind station, and once you know what I'm talking about, they got those little wind stations. You can get them for like $25.
dude, that's not even a reach. That's already on the high priority list. Yes, spend a lot of money and set up a brand new fucking weather station, wind, or not a wind. What's it called? Clinometer, or what is it called? The wind gauge. The little cups.
I don't remember. I know it's little things that spin. I've got one on top of my house.
Chronometer.
Little cups. Go ahead.
I think it's chronometer or something like that, isn't it? Chronometer.
I thought it was, but it's got a dame. But I want one.
Yeah.
And I want one right now. So yes, you're right.
I got mine on Amazon, and I got it was recommended through weather.com, and it was like $230 is all. And that was a software with it.
I had one back east. I've always had one, a nice one. Reports to the internet, stuff like that. It's the whole thing.
Yep. And it
I like
connects with, yeah, and it's cool because it connects with like satellite imagery. It knows what's going on, so it adjusts to what. Yeah, they're really, really cool and accurate.
Absolutely. So yeah, I want one. I absolutely want one. Want
Yep.
two if I can get away with it. Want it reporting into my TVs. And by the way, for those of you interested in playing our home game, it got to 115 today on my thermometer here. And Death Valley got a record today, 54 degrees centigrade, which I think was 100 and something. Hold on.
I about cooked at 98.
129.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Record heat today. Death Valley, known for its extremes. Let's see.
59 degrees Celsius. It's 138.2 Fahrenheit.
On Thursday, temperatures in the park reached 124.4 degrees Fahrenheit, which was a record. They suspect it's going to get 125 to 130 the rest of the week.
Jeez.
Or early next week. We're in a heat wave. We're in a massive heat wave. Fucking hot as balls today. I didn't even think about going outside. Fuck that.
Right?
I mean, within an hour, you're going to get heat stroke and that type of heat.
Yeah, I don't do it. I don't do it.
Yeah.
I'll walk down to the building. I'll put some bolts in the fucking plastic and I'll come back home. That's it. I ain't out 2 minutes, outside 2 minutes.
And
One of those minutes is inside the building. So, yeah.
I'm an active outdoor person and I wouldn't even be out long in that.
Me too.
No
Well,
way.
it's been on and off almost all day here, so we haven't seen 100 degrees in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
That's all we've seen in the last 3 or 4 weeks is 109, 108, 115 today. It's supposed to be 114, 112, 116 all week next week.
But Don, you live at the gates of hell.
I do. You're absolutely right. And it's during the months of fucking hell, September, July, September, September, that you really need to avoid this place. Smart people, and I'm not kidding. People leave this area during July, August, September, the whole nut. They will leave the area because it's so hot. Go north.
That
I
sucks
should've.
'cause here we've got this weird anomaly that when Arizona and some of the Vegas areas, when they get really hot, that hot air a lot of times moves east along the southern tip of the Rockies. And then since the pressure is different and the foothills, they don't get that heat and it pushes it out on the plains out here. So a lot of times when you guys get a heat wave, we end up seeing a heat wave after a few weeks.
Well, we got a heat wave. So brace yourself. And it's it's a ball sweater too. It's a sack drencher.
Rock
I
on.
think the last time they had 100-degree days in September was like 1895. And they're talking it could do that, but then they're talking it could turn around, and this winter is supposed to be nasty here, according to
winter's going to be nasty everywhere, and I'm okay with that because here it'll be nice.
Yeah,
right. Hey, fellas, I got to drop out. You have fun. I will see you soon. And
all right,
I don't know how long we'll be on, but we'll be here in a minute.
Yeah, I got a few
Let me shout out to Crazy Canadian and Platoon. Hopefully this weekend, brother, I'll get up there and get you some fresh alien jerky. And you said you wanted a T-shirt, right? Not a ball cap, but a T-shirt.
Yep. An Area 51 T-shirt.
And fresh jerky. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got fresh aliens recently. Yeah, we always got some fresh aliens coming in. Fresh alien jerky.
Actually, Zach, I will give you, I don't know if you're interested in history, but there's a YouTube channel called Kings and Generals that I really enjoy. It talks about, like, God, from the Chinese Song Dynasty to the Mongols to it talks about Templars, the Teutonic Knights, the Hungarian armies, the Polish army. I mean, it goes everywhere through the world. Different battles and stuff.
I need to learn more about Eastern European early Eastern Europeans. And Platoon, 2X on the shirt. Got it. Thank you.
It's interesting because actually a lot of modern day Europeans kind of began in the central, or not even, more central, like Poland and those areas. A lot of what we know now is modern day, even like the Germanic, they were up northern and central.
A lot of our religion came from Coptic and Eastern European Christianity. So it's just a lot there that I don't know that I think is interesting when I find it out. It is.
Yep. Well, I can't remember what the year was. It was like in the 1500s or something that the Eastern Orthodox separated from Catholicism, and it like split Catholicism down the middle. So the Orthodox,
everybody seems to be separating from Catholicism. Okay, and what is the Catholics the only thing that in Christian land that used to exist? Because it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like, I mean, so just to be clear, the Church of England separated from the Catholic Church. The Eastern Europeans separated from the Catholic Church. The Lutherans separated from the Catholic Church. Who else? Who else?
Protestants, Orthodox, or Eastern Orthodox Christians, not Orthodox Jews. But
so my point here is that it sounds like that was the meat and potatoes of fucking Christianity for what, 1,000 years?
Gosh,
See, I don't
close.
know a lot about it. I really don't. I know all I assume is that it's been around since, day zero. Catholic was around since day zero when Jesus walked the earth.
It was actually not understood as Catholic. They were just Christian, and then it became an organized church as Catholic in like, I think 400 or 500 AD, around that time.
So how did that happen? And then is the question, how does Constantine, because Constantine was the emperor of Rome at the time, but the Romans had split up. The Roman Empire had split up. So Constantine had this thing in Istanbul, Constantinople. Constantine had this shindig, that schism, where everybody got together, threw their books into the fucking pile, and we ended up with a Bible.
Left some books out.
Left a lot of books out, from what we understand now.
That's where a lot of people believe that because Constantine was originally pagan. He converted, and it's kind of nobody really knows. A lot of people believe he converted just because the Christians outnumbered the pagans so severely that he wanted to have them on his side. So he converted, but he still practiced a lot of pagan rituals too, and a lot of people believe that's where some of the pagan parts kind of came
Well, that
into
is
play.
clearly where some of the parts have come of Catholic and Catholicism and all the other isms and schisms. That is
Yeah.
clearly where some of that has come from, is from pagan land. I mean, the first and biggest example is the fish people. Come on. Do I need to go any deeper into that? The whole
Or with
fish
the-
hat is a goddamn pagan. That's a pagan ritual. That's a pagan hat. But that's, that's what
Do you
they
know-
still wear those today.
And an interesting thing, do you know why the fish became popular in Christianity?
Something to do with was that about him feeding the masses with
That too, but the sign of the fish actually became popular because they had to practice in secret, and they would put a chalk mark of a fish
okay.
in the places they were meeting, so people knew where they were.
Okay. But
yeah, it goes
there's
earlier
a
than
whole
that, but
bunch
that's
of
where the
pagan
symbol.
in Catholic land today. So, and that's where the books came from. And so it's all of those, it's understanding, I guess, what little bit I do about all of those different schisms and how those have affected Christianity and faith and those types of things in over the span of the last 2,000 years. And we can now look back with analysis on and do that, which
Right.
is cool, by the way.
And there's even a debate in Christianity about December 25th, that many of them believe Jesus was born in the summertime, not in the wintertime, and that December 25th is actually based upon northern Celtic pagan timeline. So
Yep.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I mean, when you look at, well, December 25th was the peak, or actually December 21st is peak winter, isn't it?
the solstice,
Right.
22nd,
22nd? You sure? Either way,
I believe.
day or two.
Yeah.
That's when the days start getting longer at that point in the program.
Yep.
And you're right. Pagans observed that, as well as the opposite end of that in the summertime. But with that said, there are tons. I mean, there's hundreds of YouTube channels or YouTube videos that are made about all of the pagan symbolism and rituals contained within the Catholic or the modern Christian.
Oh, and it hits all of them. I mean, even in what we consider the Old Testament, which the Old Testament is actually the Jewish Bible. You go into Islam, you go into Jewish, you go into Christianity. There's a lot of older religious aspects that would be considered pagan aspects to every religion. So, I mean, everybody has adopted a lot of those. It's interesting.
You're absolutely right. And now we're finding, and this is just my humble opinion in simplifying this, but turns out the Old Testament is just rehashed Mesopotamian Gilgamesh fucking tales that are 5,000 years older than anyone ever thought.
Oh, you're not going to get any argument from me. I think the timeline that we give is, I think we misunderstand the timeline. I think that's where the story retold is what
exactly. And I believe that if and when we dig deep enough, we're going to find that those same stories are known among the 12,000-year-old people that had Gobekli Tepe, and I don't want to say them specifically, but I do want to say some 12,000-year-old peoples
Right.
had the flood whip their ass. And that's where all of this stuff came from. Or not
And-
all of this stuff, but a lot of this stuff.
And I know you're not not religious, but you're not religious also. So, but this, I get so irritated with other religious people. They come at me and they say, well, you're not very religious at all. It's like, you're not a true believer. It's like, of course I am. Because if it's this old, it proves that it's been around since the beginning of man. So it would actually give more, in my opinion, it gives more bearing to the stories, I think.
I
So-
absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
Am I religious? Not really. I do believe that what the Bible tells us is true.
Yeah.
I don't dispute any of that. I get a little hazier around deeper questions of faith, but that's mine, and it's not for anyone to question. So
Precisely. That's why I draw a strong distinction between church and religion, because religion is between the person
exactly.
and the relationship,
Exactly.
not the church. The churches
but-
are companies.
I like the history around it. I really dig the history around it. Like
Right.
you and I can sit here and talk about what's happened in the, in a 500-year span, in a 2,000-year span, in a 5,000-year span, in a 12,000-year span. And those all seem to be wrapped up in one form or another around what we currently call today religion.
Yep.
But
And
I think it's cool to discuss it. I really do.
And going back to history, it's unfortunate no religion is innocent. There's always been one king or one
Oh,
ruler.
they're butchers. They're butchers.
Yep,
They're
that have
goddamn
used
butchers
it to
that have used it to their advantage politically, and to the detriment of mankind in a lot
Yep.
of different ways.
militarily more often than not. It's just
But and it's just like mankind. There's a lot of good that's being done in the name of religion. Some
Absolutely.
good, but there was
Absolutely.
some horrific. Now there are more. I mean, people have become less dependent on the church and religion for their, let's just say, spiritual guidance or their day-to-day spiritual guidance. And so the church is not really in a position to where they can harm people like they used to. That said, they don't. The church now does, church and organized religion and various and sundry other things now do things that are good for the good of mankind. Great. No problem.
They
But-
lost that power over people, and that's why I tell everybody, make no mistake, especially early churches did not like the Constitution of the US giving us
Yeah,
all the freedoms.
Personal individual freedoms were
Yep.
not the church's biggest, they didn't love that kind of shit.
Exactly. Because, keeping people illiterate, not able to interpret it themselves, kept them in power, kept kings in power. That's why popes were always allied so closely to different kings, because they did the same thing. So,
Well, the kings let the religion, what did Khrushchev say? Religion's the opiate of the masses.
yep. Well,
That's kind of the way it's been doled out for the last, what?
Yep.
2,000 years.
Well, look at when England kicked out the Catholic Church. The king, was it Henry?
Yep.
He kicked it out because he said that this power belongs to a king, not a church, and it'll be our own church that we control. So they believe that it didn't belong to them.
Yeah. Listen, he wanted a piece of ass. That's all.
he wanted to get divorced, and they wouldn't let him.
He wanted
Yeah.
to get divorced. Exactly. So, and that's another thing about a lot of this crap. More dumbass decisions have been made chasing a piece of tail.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I mean,
One of
you
these.
know, you can call it religious, you can call it fucking state secret, you can call it marrying into a family, but it's still chasing a piece of tail.
How many times has that caused wars? I mean,
Well, I mean,
whether
fuck,
what
hundreds.
yep. And I mean, even going back to whether you believe it's a real thing that happened or just a story cooked up by, I believe, Aristotle or whatever about Troy, but they've actually found a city that they believe was the ancient city of Troy. So,
Yeah, they found Troy. Yep.
it gives some purpose that could have been the fall over a woman. It wouldn't be surprising because throughout time, there's been wars waged over who got to call, whether it's small tribes going at it or large countries going at it.
Yep.
We're kind of a jacked up species if you think about it as a whole.
We are. I don't know how smart we are. We tend to gain good knowledge. We tend to gain knowledge.
Right.
And we gain experience with, as a species, we gain experience with that knowledge. And we do pretty good on the technology front. And we do pretty well as far as advancing mankind. My humble opinion. Okay. But I don't really have anything else to gauge us against. So what the fuck do I know?
What's that saying that if there's a mob of geniuses, the IQ drops to 0 and you still have a mob?
Right. So,
because that mob mentality.
Just my opinion.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we still have the Putins of the world. We still have the Xis of the world.
Yep.
We still have the maniacal fucking, oh my God, how many African despots do we still have in Africa? Lots.
That's so many warlords. Yep.
So, are we capable of the worst? Yes. As a species? Yes, absolutely. Are we capable of good? Yes, we are. Immense amounts of good.
Right.
Empathy, love, passion, all the above.
Right.
But you're right. We're kind of a fucked up species.
Yep. As a whole, I think individually is where the good happens. I think as large groups is where the bad happens.
See, I've never understood why people run with the herd. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to say sheeple because that's a whole different argument.
Right.
But even people running with the herd. Now, I get that the herd has its own set of standards and this, that, and the other thing and path forward. And you can do some good in the herd. That's cool. But this country was founded on the greatness that is the individual.
Yep.
And the men that started this country were men of great thinking, free thinking men.
Yep.
They were agricultural geniuses. They were businessmen. They were warriors. They were all leaders at what they did. The best of the best.
Yeah.
Proven already before they jacked it all up and said, okay, we'll give it all up to sign on the bottom of this piece of paper. And the minute they did that, they became traitors and wanted men throughout the world.
Yep. And, to be honest, we've even seen it with our group here. We've even seen it with our group here that, you know, the mob mentality of it and how people
We
turn
have.
on somebody. And if you're one of them that refuses to turn on that person, then they will go at you too. You've done
Yep.
nothing to offend anybody. You just refuse to turn on the person because you don't know what happened, what's going on. But by God, then you're the bad guy. It's like, you got to be kidding. But that's that mob mentality that our species is capable of. And unfortunately, I will say that unfortunately, a lot of the weaker minds are more prone to it, I think, quicker. But even, oh, really, even some of the intelligent people fall into that so easy.
I think we finally peaked Crazy Canadian. He finally we got a comment. We got a LOL from Crazy Canadian. So he's live still. That's good. It sounds like you have a dog problem in the back, or a sassy
Yes.
dog in the background.
Yeah.
There.
I might push mute and go let her out real quick, but I'll be right back.
Dude, that's fine. I mean, fuck, we all got dogs. I got dogs. We all got dogs. Everybody's got
Yeah.
dogs.
And I got too big of a heart. I just tell her no, and then she looks at me and gets an attitude, and I cave. So
Go take her out. Go take
All
her
right,
out.
right on.
We'll be here
I'll
when you
be
get
right back.
back. So what do you think, Crazy Canadian? You think we're full of shit? Because you wouldn't be the first person to say that we're full of shit. I could probably go another hour. And by hour, I mean an hour of mining. I'm crypto mining right now. Hershey to doggo? Don't give any chocolate to the dog, dude. Never give chocolate to the dog. Chocolate is poison to dogs.
She didn't need out. I got a bag of treats today that they really like. So I go out there and she stands at the fridge looking up at the top of the refrigerator.
Okay. Well, I mean, she needed your attention.
Right, right.
Most things that was
Now-
made, it took more than one man. Yes. Yes.
Oh, dude.
Crazy Canadian is thinks we're full of shit about most of this stuff, but I'm trying to spark up a conversation and see what she has to say about this shit. So get another opinion.
And a lot of them took generations, but that original idea came from a single person. It may have come from other people's ideas that inspired that idea, but typically the original idea comes from an individual. And I mean, even if we look at vehicles, generation after generation, now look what we're looking at. There's quite a possibility if they improve the batteries and which we're at a really good spot right now, there's just some improvement. We could be looking at electric future in 40 years, 20 years, just not right this instant like they want to do.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I am 100% agreeing that electric is probably the future of automobiles.
Yep.
But then the question becomes, how long will we be using automobiles? I submit that we'll not be using automobiles, that the things that we'll be using are personal vehicles of a gyrocopter or a fucking drone or a land speeder. I just saw a pair of land speeders built for the military from these little mini jet engines that are just fucking incredible.
I saw that, and you could buy one of those too. Actually, I think they built like 100 of them for. I think they're like $500,000. But
I mean, none of it's cheap yet, but my point being, how long are we on the car?
no, I agree. I agree. And if you think about it, when we go beyond the vehicle and beyond needing roads and everything, look at the money we will save.
Well, there's still going to have to be some infrastructure of some kind. There'll be electrical charging. I mean, they're sure the fuck, if they're talking about putting, replacing everything with an internal combustion now with electric, they damn sure better put more electric on the road, because even out here in the middle of the nowhere, they got one charger. We do have a charger here actually over at the way station, so it's pretty cool. And you see a lot of Teslas come through here, lots of them.
Nice. I've told people I would buy a Tesla if it was a good decision for me. It's just where I live right now, it does not benefit me at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's nothing, nobody's got anything comparable to what I'm using right now. Pickup truck, slant, SUV. I got nothing. Rivian, whatever, or the Lightning, the Ford Lightning, doesn't have the range. It simply does not have the range for me.
exactly.
Plus,
And
I'm not going to spend $100,000 on a fucking EV. It's just not going to happen.
that's my big deal. I'm one of those guys that I like to find. Like when people brag about how much they spend on a car, that does nothing for me. I think they're an idiot if they overspend on a vehicle. If you want to impress me, tell me how good of a deal you got on that.
Tell me how much you didn't spend on that car. I walked away from that. I drove that off the lot for 3 cents.
Yep.
And
Then I'm
you're
impressed.
in my opinion, at that point.
Yep. If you went in and paid $150,000 for like the new Corvettes, they're actually only a $90,000 car for even the Z06, the really souped up ones, but they're buying them for $150,000 because there's not many out there. To me, if you're bragging about that, you're an idiot.
Well, they're making a lot of things expensive because there's not, quote unquote, not many out there. Or I heard the best one tonight, because it's a quote unquote tight market. So we're going to jack your prices up 35% because why? Because we perceive we can. That's what that says.
That's the only reason lumber went up so much. Lumber did not need to do the skyrocket it did. It's just they wanted to get more out of the lumber. They knew, and they've done it in the past. They did it in the 80s. They want to raise the price, but didn't want people to be too upset with it. So is what they do is use the COVID stuff to jack up the price insanely high. And then when they brought it down, everybody was happy. But it was still 10% above what it was before.
It never came down to its original level. You're right.
Exactly.
It always came down to a 10% elevated level of some kind, and we're going to get the same thing with gas here. It's down to $4 a gallon, and people are jumping for joy.
Yep.
Right. What happened to the fucking $1.98 a gallon we were eating just 2 years ago?
Yep. Oh, I love that. We had a place that was actually $1.94 a gallon for a while. I could fill my pickup up for under $50.
Yeah. Luckily I can afford it. That's about all I can say is luckily I can afford it.
And I just went, today hurt. I put all new tires, new brakes, had it aligned and filled it up. So today was a painful check.
That's a $3,000 day. It sounds like
it was a pricey day, but I still miss the cheaper prices. Tires. If you need tires, buy them quick. I was talking to them. I bought my tires. They went up $11 just in 2 weeks from when I bought them till now. And the guy told me, he's like, "You're lucky you came in when you did." He said they went up $11 a tire. It's like, holy cow.
I bought 5 brand new Toyos for the wife's Jeep. Good tires, high end tires, fucking AT3s.
Nice.
Spent for 5, 12, it was 11 and some change. 11 and
Yeah.
some change out the door. My tire guy gave me the best possible price.
Yeah.
He even beat Tire Rack and Mounted Balance, installed the whole thing. Came in a month later asking about the same tire. He's like, I can't get that tire now, and if I can, it's going to cost you an extra $50 per tire.
Hmm. Yep. They told me $5 a month is basically what they're seeing right now. $5 a month.
Fuck.
Yep. Oh, I feel you. I put Michelin's on, but I've always had really good luck with Michelin's. They wear really good because I go from, I see highways, I see county roads and everything. Michelin's just really do well on that type of terrain.
So let me tell you my Michelin story and tell you why I'm now running Toyos. Is because the Michelins on the Michelins, the only Michelins I would ever run are on my RV. And those tires are $625 a piece.
Yep.
They're another $200 to get them installed by the Michelin guy. Nobody else is allowed to install them, just Michelin. Now, this is to do, you got to jump through all these hoops to get the warranty. And the warranty is what you're gunning for. And this is a special rate that you get for being a member of this RV motorhome association of $625. Toyo had a better tire with more plies on the sidewall with longer run time for half the cost. $325, I believe it was. Mounted, balanced, out the door by my local guy who guaranteed them just as long as the fucking Michelins.
Yep.
I needed 6 of those on my RV. That saved me roughly $1,000. Those tires are on the RV right now. They're running like champions. We love them to death.
Right.
So then I turned around and put Toyos on my Jeep because I wanted to oversize my tires and jack them up. And I did.
Yeah.
And I put big fucking huge Toyos on them. And the wife loved the look of those tires so much that she got the same thing on her Jeep, only in a slightly smaller size, non-oversized size. She got a 235 and mine's a 265. 17s.
Okay. Yeah. And I just, my pickup that I got to put on our it's a 2-wheel drive Chevy.
You got
it's just got
dually though, right?
I sold
So
it.
you got, oh fuck.
Yep.
I thought you had a dually. I'm sorry.
Oh, I did. You must not have been on here when I got a fifth wheel, and then I sold the dually. Well, I had a deal to where I was going to buy a 3/4 ton pickup with a gasser in it. That deal fell through, but I had already sold the dually. So now I've got a fifth wheel that I can't tow because my half ton won't tow it.
Well, that was my next question. How are you going to tow the fucking fifth wheel?
Now I have to borrow my brother-in-law's Dodge diesel. He's got a 2018.
Oh, man.
Yep.
You need another dually.
Yeah. Yep.
A 3/4 ton, a 250 would probably do it.
It will. It'll squat it, but it'll do it. And I was going to go to the gasser because at the time, diesel right now is still $4.94 a gallon.
Yeah, diesel's fucking through the ceiling. But
yeah. And that was, granted in that diesel, I could get 18 miles of the gallon even towing a load, but it was too expensive. If I wasn't towing load, it wasn't worth driving. Now in that older 7.3 though, I was probably towing load. I was probably only getting 14. New it might have gotten 18, but I was only getting 14.
You still get better than my 5.7, which is only getting me 11 at this point.
Oh wow. You've got it chipped up though, right?
Oh, I do. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm got a blower on it. Thinking about putting an exhaust cat back. About
Nice.
$1,000 worth of exhaust on it, but I don't know. We'll see. I got some other
Some of
electronics and toys that I want to play with first.
right. I found a. See. I like the classics, and I found a gold mine of old 1940s. There's even a 1942 Hudson in this. It's just this farmer has them all around his house, and I was delivering cement, and this guy's God. I bet you he's 20 miles, maybe 25 miles away from any town, even a little town, out in the middle of nowhere, and we delivered some cement. And just for that, I asked the guy if he's interested in selling them. And I got about an hour tour of all the vehicles. He said, absolutely, any of them are for sale. So, and he's got a couple old Willys Jeeps out there. He's got a lot of stuff.
Oh man, I would love to have a 1947 Willis Jeep. Yes.
Yep, yep.
Jason Pearl.
Hey,
Hey, what the fuck, brother? Good to
and
see you.
the two he has are the little short, stubby ones. Um, when I was growing up, my dad had one, and I got it when I was just out of high school. And but he had a little short or one of the longer ones with the longer back end that was one of the actual military ones. And we had to, it was all original, so we had to put the lead additive in the fuel tank.
Nice. Very, very nice. Those are wonderful Jeeps. I learned to
Yep,
drive on one of those things with the little
nice.
foot starter.
Yep,
So
yep,
you straddle your foot across both the gas pedal and the starter, which is off to the right,
yep,
while you jiggled the 4-speed in the floor into
yep,
neutral, get started, and then clutch real hard on the left, jam it into first, and then you're up the hill.
yep.
And you
And
could start it while it's on a hill without rolling back too much. Anyway,
yep. And the cool thing about it is, even though it had a 4-cylinder that didn't have a lot of horsepower to get any top end out of it, but you put that thing into low range, and I swear that thing would pull trees over. I mean,
you're
or
right.
just sit there and turn the wheels. It
You're
was.
right. It'll climb trees. The thing would
Mhm.
climb trees.
They were
Awesome.
insanely potent with that geared down low gear. Yep.
Just the clearance, the tires. You're right. The low grind transmission. First, uh, and they had 4-speed transmissions in them. First gear though was low, and you could really grind
Yep.
that thing down, and
Yep.
it would mud like nobody. It loves some mud. It really did.
Oh, yep. Yep. Tall, narrow tires on it.
Yep, absolutely. Those were wonderful, wonderful toys, and you could get them for literally nothing. The
Mhm.
government was auctioning them off back in the day.
Yep. I do.
That
Oh,
was so cool.
Crazy Canadian. I got a sad story for you. My dad had a 1950 Ford, which was almost identical to the Merc, just different chrome on the front, on the nose, and then on the rear end. He had a 1950 Ford. He'd given it to my sister when she graduated, and it ran. And it was out at the family farm. There was that. There was a Chevy, I think a '65 Chevy Super Sport of my uncle's. My other uncle had a panel van. They were all parked in the shop out there, or well, they were next to the shop because they had cleaned out the shop and everything and parked them out next to it. They had a guy come in, a steel scrapper come in, and he was supposed to haul off equipment that was way out on the hill. That guy took those vehicles and was never heard of or heard from again. He just took off with them, the vehicles. He probably made some pretty good bank on those vehicles. But there was several cars that my grandpa had one. he hauled off probably like 7, 8 cars out of there that were not supposed to be, and nobody could ever get a hold of the guy. And he was from a town here, but he rented, and he just skipped the country after he apparently did it to a few people. Sickening though. I remember that car. That was a cool car. I was jealous that my sister got it. But I ended up with like the Willys Jeep. I ended up with the El Camino. I did good. But yeah, that panel van was fully restored. It wasn't just original and ran. It was fully restored, and they had stuffed a 351 Ford Windsor in it. It was a quick little panel van. That was probably one of the priciest things he hauled off. But you got to watch out around here with some of these metal scrappers. They'll come in and they'll have a local address, but they're just renting, and they'll rob you blind if you're not careful. Hey, Colonel Shaw, how are you? Jason, how's it going?
Colonel, how are you, sir? Good to see you.
The cool thing about classics around here is we don't get a whole lot of moisture, and it's really a dry climate, so there's not a lot of rust even if they're setting out. I mean, they're not as good as like an Arizona or a Nevada find, because you find them down there where they get like almost no rain. They're a lot better, a lot more solid, but they're pretty good here too.
Rain? What's that?
I couldn't tell you anymore. We're apparently right back in our drought. Started out the year strong, went back to nothing.
So the one thing that I have enjoyed watching while I was out here is people fighting over water. And I really don't understand that. I mean, I do get it. I understand where the people in agriculture and business want, water for their thing, which they have most of the water anyway. And then people that have homes that they want their water too.
Yep.
Which I don't see that as being a problem. Maybe I just don't get the whole water problem, because I'm in the middle of the desert, so all of my water comes from the ground, but I got a wonderful well that I can pull as much water as I need to out of.
See, here the big stink is that they're not allowing individuals to drill holes for a house unless they have like at least 45 acres. So then you're basically a tiny farm.
See, I don't understand how they can do that. That makes
Colorado.
absolutely well. Okay.
Yep. That should explain it. But the farmers, a lot of it came from when they made corporations an individual, when they ruled that corporations were individuals. And so the corporations get the rights over actual, and here it's corporate farming. There's not many small farmers left. But they're drilling holes for massive wells to water.
So are you saying that the big farmers are competing with the small farmers, and that's the water problem?
No, the big farmers are competing with the individuals.
So you're talking about a guy that can't go out and drill a well on his 5 acres to build his house.
Right. That's why I got to buy so many acres.
And I got $20 that says that rule or law would not stand up in court. Here's why. In Nevada, it's it's a line item in our Constitution that if you own property and you want to build an individual home, you're allowed to drill a well and take 1,800 feet of water, put acres
Yeah.
of water, something like that.
Oh, now there is a stipulation that now I can buy 5 acres. I have to have at least 5 acres, and I could put a shallow well that is metered, and I cannot go over household usage, so I couldn't even water a lawn. But it takes several years and a lot of filing and legal fees to get the permit.
See, they have to. They didn't. I didn't even. I wasn't even required to get a permit. Oh, here in my valley, and this is a nice story. It's a weird. So here in Amargosa Valley, I'm in Nye County, but in Amargosa Valley, there's no city ordinance. There's no permit required. So there was literally no permit required from either the
Nice.
county or the city for me to build a house or drill a well. Wasn't required. However, if you went over into the other valley, Pahrump, and the entire Pahrump Valley requires you to give the state 2 foot acres or $16,000 worth of water rights before
back
they'll
then.
let you even get a permit to drill a well.
So it
It's
sounds
still going to cost you $15,000, another $15,000. So
and another $3,000 to $5,000 worth of fees and craziness to
yes,
get the permit.
yes. Here, my well, $14,000. Everything from start to finish. Permits, no permits. My well was 14 grand. And it's deep, but I've got a lot of water in there. So,
I called up one of the counties in Nebraska that I was looking into, and then I found out that property taxes are insane in Nebraska. And then I called up Wyoming, and I was talking to the guy in Wyoming. I was like, okay, I'm looking at 5 acres. I was like, how hard is it going to be to get a permit? And he's like, you mean you're going to buy the land, right? And he was confused, like legitimately confused and everything. He's like, you're going to buy the land, right? And I was like, yes. He's like, why do you need a permit
bingo.
to drill on your own
The
land?
rest of the world is like that. It
Mhm.
really is.
And he
And
said,
so,
you gotta fill out a piece of paperwork so they know where a well's at, and that's it. No
Yeah.
filing fee, no nothing. You just go in, put your address, and that's it.
Yep.
I got a kick out of it where he was like legitimately confused. And a lot of the problem with the farmers here is our biggest problem is ethanol. They put up ethanol plants all through this area. This area does not grow corn. It grows wheat really well. So it used to always be dry land wheat. And then they started putting in the irrigation circles because of ethanol, and now they're growing a crap load of corn in a place that does not get enough moisture to grow corn in. So they're sucking down a lot of water. We literally got sued by Kansas because the aquifer that we're pulling out of, a lot of it goes under Nebraska and Kansas. Well, Colorado was pulling out so much it was drying up wells in Kansas.
Canada and Holland are in the same shit. What did we do? What did Canada and Holland do? Lawyers are not doing their jobs right. Paranoid got so bad here. Yep. City is, Toronto's going fucking nuts in Canada, baby. I understand. Wife is trying to get our animals back at the same time. Yeah.
Lawyers make me nervous. Don't get me wrong, I've got family that are lawyers, but yeah.
Yeah. And they're right. Lawyers are scum. But
Oh yeah, Sean, we're trying to avoid talking about that. I think all of us.
Yeah, that's when we're kind of trying to avoid that early. We were trying to avoid that earlier.
Yep.
Biden's speech was just don't even. Yeah, you know what? Unless you want to get up here and talk about it, don't talk to us about it, okay? Because I really don't want to talk about it. You just want to piss me off. Is that what it is? But again,
you're
Colonel,
good, Chuck.
dude, let me somebody throw a link out to the Colonel. If you want to get up here and talk about it, then you are more than welcome, sir. But
Yep.
don't expect the rest of us to bait into your discussion.
It did not hit Americans very well.
Well, conservatives anyway. I mean, yeah. We'll let it go. We were discussing something else. What were we talking about? History or
water rights? Water rights.
Water rights, exactly.
Yeah, I've been seriously leaning towards Wyoming, and I would still be fairly close to all the family.
Well, here's something you might know already, but maybe not. West of the Mississippi, apparently all of your mineral, water, and various other landowner rights that we in the East used to assume were universal are not. So, for instance, if I buy 10 acres, 15 acres, 5 acres, 2 acres, 20 feet of property in Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, pick one, I don't care. I own everything for that property. Water rights, sewer rights, mineral rights, oil rights, gas rights. I own the whole nut. It's all mine, even 199.9 feet in the air. It's all mine. I own it, control it.
Yep.
I can do whatever I want with it. Now, yeah, they need permits to put wells and septic tanks in some counties. Other counties, they don't give a fuck. Rural counties in West Virginia and even Virginia still don't care if you put a well or a septic tank in. As a matter of fact, I know dudes in Halifax County where I have a couple pieces of property. I know a dude in Halifax County will, to this day, go in and drill a well and install a septic tank for me for $3,000. That's everything, start to nut, start to finish.
Holy cow.
And he'll make money doing it. His costs are going to be a backhoe and $750 in septic tank. Right?
Holy cow. The certified septic tanks, just to buy one here is about $1,500 because there are only certain ones that you can use here. It's Colorado won't even they until recently, a couple years ago, they finally changed a bit. For the longest time, you couldn't even collect rainwater. You could get fined by the state for collecting rainwater.
See, I've heard that from other places. Yes.
Yeah. Now you can collect it, but you can only collect so many gallons, and you have to buy these special barrels from a certain company that was tied to Hickenlooper, our governor at the time. It was tied to his family, the company that makes them.
What a load of fucking shit.
Yep. And people here still think he was a good governor. It's like, no, he was not. But the farmers like him because the farmers got away with murder around here. I mean, they're not literally, but
yeah, agriculture is big in a lot of states, and it's kind of like Nevada. Nevada's got two things: gambling and mining. I mean, they got other shit. Trust me, they got oil and gas here. They got actually a lot of oil and gas here, more than I ever knew. They've got a lot of oil and gas wells here.
Nice.
But mining and gambling, tourism is the fucking shit, is the thing. People come to Vegas to act like idiots. They do.
See, I even Colorado legalized gambling, so we've got like Central City, Blackhawk. I
Yeah,
go up there a
everybody's
few
got
times.
them now. I mean,
Yep, and I've gone up to those a few times. I've never even wanted to go to Vegas because I even go to these places like Blackhawk and stuff like that. I'll give myself like, a set amount of money. Once that's gone, I'm not gambling.
farming is a 10,000-year science. It is. He's absolutely right.
Um, our here, Shaw, and I want to distinguish between the two. Small farmers that are actually still the caretakers of the land are awesome. They still run, rotation crops. They still do that. The corporate farms and I know it's not like that around all of America, but here where I'm at, a lot of it's corporate farms. And when I say corporate, I mean some of them are family owned, but they're like several brothers and they own like, 8,000 acres around, and they're very large and influential. And they go in and just make what they can off of it. And they don't care what the backlash for the land is. It's unfortunate. But the small farmers, they actually still consider themselves also the caretakers of the land. They're cool, but they don't get treated quite as well as the large farmers. Coffee at this time, crazy Canadian. It's got to be late there too. Crazy Canadian's going to be up all night. Don, is it cool with you that here in a couple minutes that we shut down? I should crash. I got that funeral tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be fine, sir. That'd
Right.
be fine. I didn't mean to keep you as long as I am, as long as
No,
I
that's
did.
all good. I enjoyed the
It's
conversation.
it's Saturday morning, Colonel Shaw's time.
Yeah.
And Canadian, I think it's probably 2 a.m. his time.
I
But
always
I
tell
understand his coffee thing at 2 a.m. I've done that.
I always tell Colonel Shaw to let me know how the day's turning out, so I know if I should just sleep in and not get out of bed.
Dude, I'm Navy, so coffee is like, it doesn't keep me up. The caffeine thing, I guess I just got it. So
I
it doesn't.
used to be that way, but lately I've had to start laying off because I wasn't getting enough sleep.
Yeah, the doctors told me that it's not the best for my heart.
Yeah.
And after the stents, they were like, yeah, you probably shouldn't drink as much coffee. 12 years started on coffee. 12 years old, you started on coffee. I think I may even have been a little younger than that. My dad gave me my first cup of coffee from a thermos on a construction site, which was cool, I thought.
Nice.
Dude, I grew up on a construction site. That's why I got a lot of regard for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't continue doing it though. God, that drives me nuts.
Well, yeah,
Don't
you
get me wrong.
gotta get out of there. Okay, I mean, I love construction. Don't get me wrong, I do, but it's a young man's job. It is.
It is.
It's
It is.
even swinging a hammer, digging a ditch, dude. Construction, unless you're an operator, which I've seen operators grow old gracefully. Big heavy equipment operators, that kind of thing. Drivers, CDLs, that kind of thing. They grow old gracefully. But,
Right.
Dude, outside in the cold, especially in Colorado, fuck that. Sorry. No. Heat of the cab, nice warm cup of coffee. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm the dozer loader, if I'm driving the D9 Cat, you'll have comms in there, you'll have GPS in there, you'll have all the amenities in there for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the cold is especially here, especially February. February is horrible.
Yeah, you got to stop that shit, brother. You do. You got to get out of that. I mean, unless you're owning the company, which it sounds like you do, you just
not big though. It's just me, and if I would have kept growing and kept doing it, I probably would have been better off. But I got tired of employees and the headache that, not just the employees themselves. I mean, the whole headache that goes with having employees. It just,
Yeah, there's a lot of headache there, dude. I've had them. I know. It's not worth it.
yeah,
It's not
it,
worth it. If I do a little LLC action, I do it with my own self now,
yeah,
and just me as the employee. And but I just do that for tax purposes, and to wrap the whole thing up and toss it over to the accountant. Let him handle
yeah.
it.
And the worst thing is, like well, you know how construction is. If you do it small, you may as well work an hourly job because you're not. You got to go
Yeah,
big or go home.
yeah. You just don't do that. You can't. There's just no. There's. I really don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
But you need to do what you're about to do, and that's
yeah, yeah.
step away from construction, get into IT. I wish you'd have done it 20 years sooner, but you didn't, so
Actually,
that's
I do
okay.
too.
But you're doing it now, and we're gonna make it right when you do it now. That's easy.
Nice. I know a couple of my friends that do it, and a couple of my cousins that do it, and a lot of them, now are getting to the ages where they're working at home too. They're pretty pumped about me getting into it. One of them is like, "It's about time." So,
It's about fucking time. Exactly. You are absolutely right.
yeah.
Colonel, are you drinking you're drinking real coffee? So you're drinking like the Douai Egberts. I always like that coffee. Very consistent across a lot of different platforms. Douai Egberts. Love that coffee.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of instant.
Most people's coffee and most European coffee drinkers are drinking that instant stuff, freeze dried stuff with the
Oh,
kettle.
yeah, I've never liked it. I
Yeah, me
hadn't.
either.
Yeah, an aunt that's what she always had. I never acquired a taste for it.
Just coffee and hot water. Okay, I get it.
No, if it's not perked, it's not for me.
I'm saying if it's not perked, it's not for me.
Yeah,
Um, Now I'm using espresso, so all of my coffee is espresso,
nice.
grandma style. Well, I mean, okay, so what is grandma style? Is it instant coffee? It's just, so is it kettle water you pour into a cup and then you put instant coffee, a spoonful or a packet of instant coffee? Is that okay? That's instant coffee. I can't drink that.
See now, I don't
In
even like.
Europe, in Europe, that's old school. That's the way they do it. It's
Uh,
always been instant coffee.
and see, I don't even like instant tea. I prefer tea bags like Sun Tea and stuff like that, which is kind of funny because I put sugar in my coffee, but I cannot stand sugar in my tea.
Well, I've had freeze dried coffee before in those little packets, like they like Colonel's talking about.
Yeah.
Um, no, he's talking about a pot with a sip. Okay, that's different.
Uh,
Then that's brewed coffee. So
yeah,
you're
yeah,
passing the hot water through a coffee, not an instant that's going to dissolve.
right.
That is better. That's old school that we know here. That's perked as far as we know. Pushing down the coffee with a sieve. Press. Okay. Similar, same school. Really, it is. Because you end up with coffee grounds there. The end, and you discard that and you have hot coffee that's been steamed or pressed or yeah. Same thing. Same thing. Never instant. You're right. I've had the instant a lot. Asia is all about the fucking instant. Oh my God. It's every coffee, everything. I'm not going to say there's not real coffee, but when you go into the office, everything's instant. When you're in the city, everything is instant. Hate,
I tell you what.
but that's all you get.
Some of the best coffee, and I don't use it much, but I've got a coffee bean grinder, and some of the best coffee I've had is grinding it myself and cooking it with that. Some of the fresh coffee beans. Oh my gosh, that is good coffee. It depends on the beans too, because in the store there's a selection of like, I'd say probably 5 different types. We just got a little store here, and so you got to be careful. Some of them are kind of nasty, but there's a couple of them that are so good.
So over the years and in my travels, I have turned into what I will commonly refer to as a coffee snob. I'm just as picky as I can be. Some of the best coffee I've ever had has been in Italy. Today I still drink Italian espresso, and I'm just as fucking picky as I can be about it. Some of the best coffee I ever had was Middle Eastern. Turkish coffee. As a matter of fact, if you have the right Turkish coffee, holy shit, is that good stuff. Yeah, I'm a snob. I am.
Mhm.
Jeddah, Saudi Arabia was one of the best cups of coffee I ever had. And it was a 2 jigger shot glass of coffee. That's all it was.
Wow.
And I had
So
to
it's
put so much
basically
fucking,
just a jolt
Oh.
to caffeine.
it's straight up vehicle for caffeine. And when you're
Nice.
done with the end of that thing, the hair on the back of your neck stands straight up. I'm not joking, because I had to suck one of those down and head for a flight. And 2 strokes out, I mean, literally 2 steps away from the fucking coffee bar, the hair on the back of my head was standing straight up, and I could feel the sweat. Anyway,
Nice.
Turkish coffee's fucking awesome. It really is. I believe it. Saudi coffee, Middle Eastern coffee is very, very good. Rich. I mean, they do a goat's milk coffee and then they do a non-goat's milk coffee that's just really, really rich.
Nice. Goat's milk. That'd be interesting. It's just like a cream, basically, that they put in it, like creamer.
Yeah. Cream and coffee for me has always been kind of a thing. Like the English, for instance. Their coffee is bland at best. Okay.
Yeah.
But they're lucky enough to get some of the good European coffees across. But their coffee is bland at best. Where they excel is in their creams. They have what's called yellow cream there that is just amazing. It's better than half and half, but not quite a full cream that'll like curdle in a
Right.
in a hot coffee. So it's yellow. I think they use it for the Germans suck with the coffee. Yeah. Yeah, they do, as a matter of fact. And the Eastern Europeans ain't real good at it either, from what I'm tasting. But along the Arabian coastals, that's where the winners are. You're right. The Turks, the Arabs, the North Africans, Egyptians make a wonderful coffee. I'm a snob. Sorry. No, I'm not. I've had a lot of really good. I've had a lot of really good coffees. Really good coffees.
And I admit,
All over the place.
I like Folgers and Maxwell House. That's 90% of what I drink.
Dude, that's good coffee. I don't care
It
who
is.
you are. That's still good coffee.
Yeah.
And I can make a fucking phenomenal cup of coffee out of a can of Folgers. I can.
Yeah. Oh, well, heck, I hate to run, but are you guys
All right.
good?
Yep. Well, we got to
Cool.
thank everybody for showing up, especially
Absolutely.
Colonel. Very much appreciate you taking some time for your busy Saturday morning, which I know you're probably off to the Shell station getting you a cup of that real nice coffee.
Crazy Canadian, Colonel Shaw. Yeah, thanks, guys. You guys were chatting it
Crazy,
up.
always
Appreciate
good. Best to the wife. I hope you do. I hope you do escape to the north, brother. We're all rooting for you. Just let us know. Happy to help. We got people up there.
it.
I got people in the GTA. I do. No shit. If you pop smoke, we'll reach out. All righty, guys. Take care of yourselves.
Have a good one, Don. Take care, chat.
All
We'll
righty.
see you guys.
Thanks, sir.
Yep.